Becoming a dentist in any country is challenging, especially when you've already a dentist in your country and then now you're coming to the US to be trained as a dentist. Stay tuned as we talk to a doctor who has gone through this process of becoming a US trained dentist, and she's going to share everything about how she did it, her process, and all of that. Stay tuned. Hey, this is Dr. Darwin, a new dentist coach, for another episode of Ask Dr. Darwin on the New Dentist Podcast Show. We talk about getting into dental school, getting into residency, and then life as a new dentist. Guys, be sure that you continue to support the channel. We are internationally known worldwide, all because of you, because you're sharing, you're watching, you're commenting, you're liking, and you're subscribing. So continue to do such. It allows us to see and reach more people across the globe. All right. Also, you can support the channel. Look down in the description below. You can support the channel. We've got some merchandise you can get. You can also join the channel in addition to subscribing. All those things allow us and support us so that we can continue to bring this free content to you. Also, this episode of Ask Dr. Darwin is being brought to you by GetIntoDentalResidency.com, and also being brought to you by Dr. Darwin on demand. Check out those links right here down below and how you can get some help and get some support and accountability and surround yourself with people who are doing the things that you want to do, whether it's get into dental school, get into residency, etc. Check those links down below. So back on the podcast is a doc that we talked to. Oh my God, how long has it been, Doc? 3 years?
Yeah, almost, I think 23 months, maybe.
Yeah, about 2 years. But I think it's been longer than that, because our first conversation was at least 4 or 5 years ago.
Yes.
And I've been doing this for about 5 or 6 years, at least 5 years. And I think our episode that we were talking about how to become a US trained dentist is probably the most watched episode that we have. So that's been a while. That's been at least 5 years. So
yeah, 4 years, I think.
Yeah, almost 4 years. And we're on the other side of that first episode, talking about the fact that you got into a U.S. dental school program and that you're getting ready to graduate in 5 months. So it's been a process, and we're glad to follow up and have you share your journey into getting into an advanced standing program. So please introduce yourself for those people who maybe have not seen that episode. Which you guys should check it out right here. I think it's over here. Check it out right over here. You can check out this other episode. But please introduce yourself to everyone that's meeting you maybe for the first time.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is DrNavneet Kaur. I am from India. I was a dentist in India. I did my graduation in 2013, and then I did my master's in periodontics in 2017. And 2018, I moved to US when I started the whole process of becoming a dentist in US. That was the first time when I talked to Dr. Darwin. And I started my whole process, took baby steps every single day. And here I am ready to graduate from CODA accredited university in California.
Yeah, and it's been a process nonetheless. One of the questions that a lot of people have to think about, especially if they've been trained as a dentist overseas or internationally, is why dentistry in the US? So share with us why you wanted to come to the US and be able to practice here in the US and learn about how dentistry is performed here. So why dentistry in the US for you?
Well, for me, it was destiny who brought me to US. I got married in US, and then I was a dentist in India, so I wanted to be a dentist in US too. I didn't want to do any other job but dentistry. So I started my research about dentistry, and I found out doing my observations and working as a DA in US that dentistry in US is obviously top notch, and there there are certain protocols which we follow here, and it made me fall in love with dentistry all over again. I had a passion for dentistry before in my home country as well, but coming in US and starting the process all over again, I enjoyed every single day. So I just started my procedure of becoming a dentist in the US every single day. Like I did dental assistant jobs, shadow in multiple clinics. Then I attended a lot of CE courses. Then I did preceptorship in different universities. So I think which helped me a lot, and that's why I was more sure every single day. I was becoming more sure that this is what I want to do.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. If you're around the profession and and directly connected to the profession, it just grows on you to the point where it's like, yeah, I got to keep going. I'm passionate, whether it's in India, whether it's Japan, whether it's Brazil, whether it's London, whether it's, wherever. I picked dentistry as a career years ago for a reason, and that's why I want to continue it here in the US. Um, you know, it's not a very easy process, especially coming from and being a dentist in another country and then coming to the US. Doing it here in the US is hard in itself, but to add that to the fact that you've been practicing as a dentist, working as a dentist, and in your case, having an additional degree in perio, now kind of have to start part of that process and that training, that education all over again can be very hard and difficult. Share with us what was the hardest part about this whole entire process of applying to the advanced standing program to become a US trained dentist.
So for me, initially, I did not know where to start from. That was the hardest part. And I started talking to people. I started watching videos. As a fresh graduate after my master's degree, I moved to US, and I did not know where to start from. That was the hard part, but I think a lot of people, they helped me, guiding me through the process. And then after that, the hardest part was the wait time to apply, wait time to hear back from universities. How many interviews will I be getting? Which school wants me? And even after the interviews, the wait time was the hardest part before getting an interview and after getting the interview. I was always very curious to know that, okay, I'm a good fit for which school, or which school is a better fit for me, where I want to go, which school wants to take me. All those things, I think the only thing was the wait time, because I was already taking, as I mentioned before, every single day I was doing something, be it be a new CE course, be it be working with some university. For I was in UCSF doing research and preceptorship. Every single day I was taking few steps, but the wait time of getting an interview call and being accepted was the hardest time for me personally.
Hey, this is Dr. Darwin, your new dentist coach. Hey, look, it's residency time. It's residency application time. And the biggest question that a lot of people have is, how do I prepare my application? So look, if you're struggling in getting your information together, your CV, your personal statement, or you're ready but not prepared for your interviews, reach out to me ASAP, right? Through my group, Dental Residency Headquarters, we can help you. We can help you get ready for this residency cycle so that you're able to do this. We want you to match into residency cycle this year, all right? But you got some work to do. If you need some help with that application, shoot me an email at newdentistcoach@gmail.com, newdentistcoach@gmail.com. And through our program called Get Into Dental Residency, we can help you. But you got to hurry up, because residency application is right now. So shoot me an email right now. All right, let's get back to this episode. Yeah, and that's very similar to the U.S. students who apply apply to dental school too, right? The whole process of getting your application together, the whole process of once you submit it, waiting and then waiting for interviews, waiting for acceptances, especially with schools in the US, it's kind of like rolling admissions, even though most students will find out in December for US schools about their admissions. Um, it can take from December to that following year, all the way through June, before
Yeah.
really hearing about schools having openings and schools filling in their positions. One of the things that you mentioned as far as your preparation, and I want to kind of segue to that, is that you were involved in some aspect of dentistry prior to your application and even during your application. You mentioned the fact that you were I think working as a dental assistant. You were also doing some research at UCSF, which is the University of California, San Francisco, which has a dental school. And they also have an international or advanced standing program for international trained dentists. And you also mentioned doing a preceptorship. All are things are ways of making sure that you really are able to enhance and qualify yourself as a candidate for these advanced standing programs. Share a little bit more about those things and how you prepared to get your application, get your CAAPID application together.
So CAAPID application is a stepwise process. After I did my part one and part two, I think I came US in 2018. And from the very next day, I started observing as a dental assistant. And then once I got my work permit, I started working as a dental assistant. So that was one step. Being a new dentist, it's very important that you get into the process. You know the process in US. So, and the second thing was whatever CAAPID requires, different schools have different requirements. Like for me, I wanted to stay in California. So I checked the requirements of different universities, what all they need, and then I tried to fulfill all those requirements. Even before I applied to different universities, I called in the admissions committee and then admission officers, asked them, okay, what do you look for? Is there any particular thing? Some of the universities, they require TOEFL score should not be below 100, even if it's 99, they won't send you an interview. Being an Indian, it's really hard because being an Indian, it gets very competitive to get into the dental school because of the large pool of the students we have. And then there were some other requirements like working in your home country for 1 or 2 years, any master's degree you have, how long did you work in the US for, any volunteer organizations you were associated with, dental and non-dental. So all those things, they want to look for dental as well as non-dental profile of yours. What did you do outside dentistry? Why did you do it? And what was your intention to do those things? All those things step by step, and then preparing the statement of purpose. I think that has a huge impact. When someone is reading your statement of purpose, it should tell your whole story, but in limited amount of words. What is your future? What are your future goals? What was your past? Why did you start dentistry? It it takes some time, but I think if you devote some time equally on every single aspect of CAAPID application, and the admissions committee, when they review it, they actually see the hard work you put for your application. So that's I think, one thing which you should keep in mind: work hard for your CAAPID application. It's the way you present your application makes the huge difference. You might have 10 or 20 different things in your profile, but if you don't know how to present your application, then there is no value of that. I think you should know how to present it.
Yeah, that's key. Presenting those most key points about who you are as a candidate. And you
Right.
probably had to be very specific or even more specific onto targeting those aspects, especially if you are targeting certain schools, right? And for you, I remember talking when we talked the first time that you kind of wanted to stay in Cali, right? Stay in California, which is great because there's a lot of opportunities, a lot of programs, a lot of schools that have advanced standing programs. So that means you have to look at those schools, look at their requirements, and then tailor your candidacy and certain points about your candidacy to those schools. I think that's a real important fact that that candidates have to do and be really intentional about it. And that kind of leads me to the next part, which is, we talk about the schools. There are probably about 30, close to, I think it's about 30, between 30 and 40 schools of the dental schools that have some form of internationally trained or advanced standing program for dentists that are been licensed outside of the US. Um, and that's a lot. That's a lot of programs, right? That's a lot of programs to have to sift through. Share with us a little bit more about your thought process and how you decided what schools and why those schools, in addition to being, of course, for you regionally being in California, but I'm sure there were some other aspects that are important to you as a dentist and as a candidate looking to receive certain types of training as well. So share a little bit more about that as well.
So I think initially, for me being a visa holder, there were not a lot of options because a lot of schools, they accept US citizens or green card holders. But if you are a visa holder, like for me, I'm on H4 visa right now, and I'm studying on H4 visa. So if you are a visa holder, your options are very limited and you have to pick and choose where you want to apply. Obviously, it's very expensive. So for me, I got accepted in my second cycle. I applied in my first cycle. I was very late, but I applied in 8 schools. In first cycle, I got 6 interview calls. I attended 4 interview calls and I got waitlisted everywhere. But I did not stop. I knew like if I got waitlisted, I applied to so many schools and I got waitlisted in these many schools. That means they obviously they want me, but there has to be something else in my profile or in me. So I kept working hard on myself for myself that in internationally, I was also involved in some research projects. And I, during the COVID time, this was the COVID time. And during the COVID time, I kept going through my online social media things, doing a lot of things, doing a lot of research about different universities, what they want. And I kind of build my profile according to them. So there are a lot of universities, they want to see your research work in your home country and here. There are a lot of universities which want to see your volunteer hours, number of volunteer hours you had. So like currently I am in Loma Linda University. So Loma Linda University, they pay a lot of attention towards your spiritual values, your own identity as a person, how you behave, what kind of person you are, what kind of people you are surrounded with, all those things. So as they value your personal values. Um, and then there are some universities which want to see, okay, how competitive you are, how you behave when you are around different people. Uh, are you a good leader? They want to see you as a leader as well. Eventually, our goal is all of the dentists, our goal is to open our own practice. Most of the dentists, they want to open their own practice. So they want to see your leadership qualities. What did you do in the past as a leader? How are you good team member? That's a very good point as well, because a lot of the universities, they want to see you as a team member too.
Yes.
Even if you work for someone, you don't open your own practice. They want to see, okay, how you behave as a team member. Do you have the ability to solve the conflicts? And are you someone who will be problem for other people, or are you someone who will always spread positive vibes? So all those things, I think they are very important. And as I mentioned, the number of schools is very important. In my second cycle, I applied in 15 universities and I almost got called from 12 of them. And but I interviewed in 6 universities. I got accepted in 5. I declined all the other universities because I always wanted to be in Loma Linda University, and I got accepted in Loma Linda. So Loma Linda was my top priority. So I think everything they wanted to see in the profile, I made sure I have it. So
Yeah.
that's what was the outstanding factor for me for getting accepted in my top choice.
Yeah. So again, it really sounds like you were very intentional with the schools that were on your list that were specifically California schools. And from those schools, you had Loma Linda, maybe one other school that was kind of like your 1, 2 or top two. And because of that, you put your application together based on what they were looking for, but also based on what you had to offer those schools, either as it relates to leadership, teamwork, how to handle conflicts, research, volunteer hours, and the other things that the actual schools or those top schools were looking for. So that makes sense, and I think it's really important that people hear that because it's very easy to do something totally different, right? Which is I'm going to apply to all 30 schools and I'm just going to, see what sticks. I'm going to throw it up against the wall and see what sticks. And you can have a not so good result when you do that, right? You could get lucky, but there's too much time and effort and also investment to try to get in based on luck. You have to you want to get in based on something that's intentional and calculated as part of your application. So the fact that you knew that Loma Linda was your first choice and it came to you after your after your first cycle and doing it again in your second cycle, having more schools that you got invitations to based on maybe some more schools that you applied to and came up on top. So that's awesome. So I guess it was pretty, you know, um, not easy, but when you were going through your interviews, that could be a challenging time, right? Even
Yeah.
to get to that point, now you're there, you're in front of the committee, they have questions, they have your application, they've read your personal statement. Share with us a little bit more about what those interviews are like, or what it was like for you as a dentist who already had all this training, right? And now you're looking to do some more training and they're asking you all these questions. So share a little bit more about your interview day, what that was like, and maybe some of the questions that they asked.
I'll try to remember as much as I can.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
I
been
know
a
it's been a
while.
while.
So,
That's right. That's
um,
right. Thank you.
yeah, different universities, they look for different things. Like I interviewed for a lot of universities. Their interview process is different. So, first of all, if you get an interview invite, I would highly recommend that you do a thorough research. What do they ask? What they are looking for in a candidate, uh, and what the process will be during the interviews. Like for me, for example, I will talk about Loma Linda University. They take bench test. They will send you interview invite after reviewing your application, and they will send you interview invite, and you have to respond to that interview. And then there will be a bench test. You can pick and choose your dates. They will give you 2 dates. You can pick your date, and then depending on what they ask, sometimes they ask plus twos, depending on what tooth number, DO, MO. But I will recommend uh, prepare as much as you can, because once you clear the bench test, then you will get an interview call. Otherwise, you won't get an interview call from Loma Linda University. So you have to pass the bench test in order to get an interview call. And then once you get the interview call, Loma Linda interview is very straightforward. They are not looking for uh, any dental experiences in your interview. When they talk to you, they want to see you as a human being, how family oriented you are, what do you like outside dentistry, what are your future goals, why dentistry, how important is dentistry for you, how important is interacting with people for you, and uh, um, what do you want to do for your community in future? What have you done in past? What will you do for your community? Because dentistry is the field where once you enter, you can give back to the community in different ways.
Right.
So what is your way? They want to see that. And as I mentioned, they want to see your overall personality, how you are as a person outside dentistry. Because I think they know once they take you in Loma Linda, they will help you to become better dentists than you were before. But they also want to see how much enthusiastic you are to enter in the university and to follow the protocol of the university. And then there are other universities, they took bench test because this was during COVID times. And even before COVID, the process was same. Like they have a bench test, and they have interview as well. So prepare your interview very, very well, because that's the time when the interviewers, they want to see you, they want to know what you are, and be respectful to them, and at the same time be confident. They want to see a confident person, because you are already dentist in your home country, and if you lack the confidence, I think they can easily judge that. They have been doing this thing from so many years. They can easily see when the answers are prepared, when it's a continuous rehearsal. So be as much genuine as you can. But if I have to give you a tip, that will be, know yourself inside out. If you don't know you, you won't be able to handle yourself in an interview, because interview involves a lot of surprise questions. So yes, so for me, I will give an example. One of the universities, I was asked, what is poverty for you?
Mm.
And what is poverty? What do you think is poverty? So I was like, okay, I, the out of the blue was this question. So I was like, can I think about it, because I don't want to give any wrong answers. And then I took a pause, and then I answered the question. Obviously, my interviewer was very impressed, and hence I got accepted in the same university. So know yourself, know your past, know your present, and know your future. It's all about knowing yourself, knowing your thought process. That's it. Nothing more than that. And you don't have to be conscious or nervous in the interview. Do not give prepared answers. There are people outside who can help you prepare your interviews. But I would say the only better person who can help you to prepare for the interview is you.
Yeah.
People can teach you how to sit, how to talk, what not to say, about the pronunciation of different words, because we are international dentists. So we need to work on our pronunciation as well, so that people can understand as well. But the only person who can impress the interviewer is you, no one
Yeah,
else.
that's right. At the end of the day, you as a candidate will be the only person in that room
Yeah.
sharing your answers. You may feel like you can hear, people who have helped you, you can hear them in your ear and you can feel their presence during the time that you were preparing for the interview day. But at the end, guess what? It is you in front of the camera, if it's virtual, or in front of the committee talking to everyone. It is you. So some really great tips and great information to make sure that you be yourself, that you're confident, and it may take some practice. Not everyone, even as a dentist, not everyone is naturally
Yeah.
feels comfortable in front of a group of people, right?
Yes.
So you may have to practice. You may have to do some mock interviews just to kind of get your on camera or one-to-one, face-to-face game ready for that day. But you're right, you still have to be yourself at the end of the day, because no matter what, everybody can be on their best behavior for 30 minutes for an interview.
Yeah. And
Uh,
I agree with you that seeking professional help is no shame. um, People out there, they are ready to help you. I'm sure if you have your Instagram channel, people might be watching your channel and getting a lot of tips and suggestions from that. And there are a lot of people outside They're ready to help you for your bench test, how to
Yes.
present for an interview, a lot of
Yes.
YouTube channels, a lot of things. But at the end, I think you can hear people, but at the end, it's your choice what you want to do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
take the suggestions and implement it uh, the way you want to.
Yeah. And you said something else that I really liked, which was in those interviews, not only do you need to know about yourself and feel confident, but also be yourself, right?
Yeah.
Be yourself and also have an understanding as to where you fit in and how you're going to fit in, not only to the school, but after the 2 or 3 years of your advanced standing program. How are you going to contribute to a Loma Linda, a USC, a NYU, a UPenn?
Mm.
How are you going to contribute and add value to the school community for the 2 or 3 years, 27 months that you're there? That's important.
Yeah, that's very important. And I would just make a little bit change of words here. Be the better version of yourself. You can be yourself, 101% you can, but you can even be better version of yourself.
Hmm.
What I mean to say is like, um, I know what I am and I know how I behave. But if you want to, you already know, okay, this is after 4 weeks is my interview. I want you to practice as much as you can, but don't do the rehearsal. Don't do, okay, let's say the first question is, tell me something about yourself. Do not give a rehearsed answer. Okay, this is me, this is that. They will hear you for 2 or 3 minutes, then they're going to stop you. So have a smile on your face, be charming, look good. That's very good. Look all sorted, and put the right lipstick on for girls, and for boys put your right color on and show up, just show up.
Yeah.
It's all about you.
Show
And
up.
always remember that as much as you want to get into the university, they want you as well. They give,
Absolutely.
they want you as
Absolutely.
well. So
Absolutely. I mean, not only do they want you because they have to fulfill their needs, but they want you because they are looking for people to represent
yeah.
the school community, and that's and overall and the profession as well here in the US. So um that's very key. So great advice, great tips about interviews and how to prepare and how to have your mindset with regards to the interviews. Now you mentioned that Loma Linda was your top choice and you had some other schools that were high up there. At the end of the day, after your interviews, um, you had some selections and you had to kind of decide, all right, this is this is what I'm working with now. I have my interviews, got some acceptances, and I gotta choose. I gotta choose. So kind of help us understand after the interviews what stood out about Loma Linda for you and how that shaped your decision to matriculate there.
I got accepted in other California schools as well, but Loma Linda was my top choice because I have been to Loma Linda for a couple of CE courses as well, and I got waitlisted in Loma Linda for the first time, and then in the second cycle I got accepted. So whenever I was in Loma Linda, I felt a homely vibe. I felt like the kind of person I am. Loma Linda is the perfect fit for me in terms of spirituality, in terms of humanity, in terms of volunteer work, and the clinical experience is exceptional in Loma Linda. If you are in, we have a very good patient pool, and I was already aware of that from few of my friends that the hands-on experience in Loma Linda is very, very, very exceptionally good. And the faculty, we have good experienced faculty, always ready to help. And yeah, and the colleagues around me, everyone, we, I think everyone is ready to help each other. that's the main thing. And that when I was here in the school for my interview as well, that's what I felt, that everyone, and we are a small community here where everyone knows everyone.
Yeah.
Like the faculty member, they know every student's name. Each and every student is familiar to all the faculty members. So that was the standing out factor for me, because not in this doesn't happen in every single school. You go
Right.
to different schools, the faculty doesn't know this name of the students, and they still talk, oh, that girl, this girl. But here in Loma Linda, if you are in Loma Linda, you are in a family environment. So
Yeah.
all these things, they stood out for me while I was choosing my school.
And that's cool. I mean, that's cool, but it's also critical and important. That environment, that culture of the school needs to be in alignment with what you're looking for and what you need. And if it is, then it's easy to decide where you're going to go. Very easy. Very easy. Now, one of the things I can't remember or do not remember is the number of positions every year for how many are in your class at Loma Linda, or at least at that beginning first class?
Yeah, for Loma Linda, it's 32.
32. Okay. Yeah, I knew it was one of the schools that had a very large number of students, very similar to like a BU, Boston University. I think even NYU has a large program per class as well. So 32. So of those 32, well, everybody has to do this, which is pay tuition. So let's talk a little bit about that aspect, because that also can be a decision factor for many candidates, especially once they, not only when they apply, but also when they are making their final decision. So give us an idea as to what an annual tuition looks like, including expenses at a school like Loma Linda.
So for Loma Linda, I would say a rough amount will be around, including the living expenses and everything, it should be around 300,000. So I'll talk about myself. I'm a H4 visa holder. So for me, I needed a US citizen to sign the co-signer for me, to sign the loan, help to get the loan for me from the bank. And once I applied my loan and their credit score was checked and my credit score was checked and everything looked good, so I got the visa. I got the loan. But obviously, if you are a visa holder, your interest rate is a little higher. That's the only drawback, but it's possible to get the loan if you know someone who is a green card holder or a US citizen.
So you so
And
you so you so you had to have in your current state, you had to have someone else apply for a loan on your
correct.
behalf to make
Yeah.
sure that you had your tuition covered. And that 300,000 is for the 27 months, correct? Or the
Yes,
20
27 months.
27 months, right? Gotcha.
Yes. And then if you are a US citizen or if you have a green card, US green card, then it's a very straightforward process for you. You just apply for financial aid, fill the application, and your visa gets approved. I think it's for 4%, maybe 3 or 4%. And then you're good to go. You have your financial aid all signed up. And if you're eligible, then your whole tuition gets paid off.
Gotcha. Gotcha. It gets paid off because you're taking a loan out, which you
Loan.
still have to
Yes.
pay out.
Afterwards.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
Unfortunately, there's not a lot of quote unquote scholarship options uh for these types of programs. Many, like you stated, have to take loans out or have someone take a loan out on their behalf to pay for
Mhm.
school. A little bit different than the U.S. side, where some state schools and some state residents that matriculate at that state university could get, 50%, 60%, or have some other grants and scholarships that can go towards the tuition. A little bit different on the for those U.S. students versus the international or foreign trained
And
students.
I would like to add, but if you are in university, then you can also apply for alumni loan. but that is applicable after your first GPA, when you get your first GPA, which is after first 6 months. And if you are eligible, depending on the GPA, you can get alumni loan. But you have to apply for that based on your grades.
And what was that again? You said an alumni
Alumni
loan?
loan,
Yep.
yes.
Okay.
That's just some amount. Like for me, I got 24,000. So that's just some amount. It might help you with the living expenses a little bit. But again, you have to apply every quarter.
Yeah, that's every little bit helps.
Yes.
24,000 or 4,000, it still helps towards it's money that you don't have to pay back or you don't have to take out and eventually have to pay interest on and pay back, right? So every little bit helps with regards to that. So the next question relates to advice and tips, and you've been given those all throughout our conversation. But this is also the part that a lot of people want to hear. And guys, if you are getting some value and really like and find that this information has been very helpful, please right now just lightly hit the like button. Don't smash it too hard. Just hit it twice. Just hit it twice, and also put also in the comments what you've liked most so far about today's episode. So tips, strategies, advice, knowing what you know now, having been through this process not once but twice. You did it in 2 cycles, which is commendable in itself because there's so many applicants that are applying every year for a limited number of spots. Knowing what you know now, what are some tips and some advice that you would give your colleagues who are looking to become a U.S. trained dentist?
So I would say prepare ahead of time. If you already know that you're going to be stepping into dentistry, so start preparing ahead of time. Start studying for INBDE, become familiarized with the questions, the type of questions they ask, and then build your profile. Don't wait for clearing your part INBD. Sorry, for me it was part 1 and part 2, so I remember that. But don't wait for the exam. Don't wait for to pass the exam. Just keep doing every single thing which is on your list. Like say doing a job, doing observership or preceptorship or research work or volunteer work. Keep doing all the things which you can do to make your profile stronger. And then once you are done with all the exams and building your profile resume, I would say, as we talked about CAAPID application, present your application well. If you want to seek professional help, seek professional help. And after that, I would say do not wait. Apply and then forget. What I mean is that do not take unnecessary pressure on yourself. Okay, once I get the interview call, I will start preparing for my bench test. No, that's the wrong approach. If you applied in 5 schools or 10 schools, you already know that you will get either 1, 2, 3, depending on your profile, you will get some interview calls. So start preparing. Start doing your crowns, class twos, composite fillings, amalgam fillings. Start the bench test practice at home even before you get an interview call. Do not wait for the interview call and get better at it. Then once you get your interview call, seek professional help. Criticism is always good. In this case, ask your friends to help you, send pictures to them, ask them to evaluate your work. And even professionals are out there, seek their help. And then go shoot, give your best shot and shoot for it. And during your interview, as we already talked, I would say be the better version of yourself. Prepare, but do not memorize the answers. And I totally agree that I have been through this process. It's a very stressful process, but at the same time, you need to be persistent. So universities, they do see this thing as well, how persistent you are, what changes you are making. And also I would say that keep in touch with the universities, keep emailing them, tell them what you updated in your profile, like how you are different from last year, how you are different from this last month when you applied, let's say the cycle ends in July, and now you're waiting for the interview call. Keep emailing them. Tell them that, okay, this is what I updated in my profile after I applied. This is my TOEFL score. If they really want you, they will send you an interview invite based on even the updated version of your profile. So keep trying, and don't lose hope. And I would say, don't let the fear of losing to be greater than excitement of winning. So always have this thing, a mental picture in your mind, that if other people can, like, I'm an ordinary girl, if I can do it, you people can, everyone else can. So and the last advice I would give is, have a mentor around you. Anyone, which could be anyone, your family member or professional or anyone. Dr. Darwin is great. You can ask a lot of questions from him. He's always ready to help. So have a mentor. That's
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Some great tips and strategies. I counted about 8 or 9 here. If you didn't hear those, guess what? You got to stop, press pause, go back, and start again under the section of tips and strategies. Those were great. What are your plans? You got 5 months. What are you planning on doing after you walk down and get your U.S. diploma as a U.S. trained dentist?
So I'm happy, just 5 more months. I'm gonna graduate. Much awaited moment of my 5 years, last 5 years.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to graduate and work outside as a dentist. And right now I'm looking for opportunities, and we'll see. The more opportunities I get, the more I think I'm inclined to working in US as a dentist. Depends on which state, but most probably I'll be in California. So let's see where the destiny takes me ahead.
Good. And what's the best way for people to contact you if they have any other questions or just want to ask you a couple of things? What's the best way?
You can reach me out on my Instagram. It's Dr._NK Sehgal, and I would give it to Dr. Darwin.
Yeah, here it is right here. I'm gonna put it right there. There it is. All right, Instagram.
Yeah, you can reach me on Instagram. Shoot me questions, whatever you want. I'm ready to help. As many questions you want, just text me.
That's text her, but look, don't bother her too much, guys and gals. Don't bother. Look, she's got 5 months. This has been 5 years in the making. She's got to finish up. She's got patience. She's got exams. She's got other things she's got to do. She will answer your questions, but don't overburden her with all of that. Let's wait till she gets these 5. Let's wait till the 6th month to give her all the hard questions. But she will help you. She will help you, and it's so glad. I'm so glad to see you, to hear from you, and get an update. Not only from 21 months ago, but also from 3 years and 4 years ago, and what you shared today about how to become a U.S. trained dentist and your journey as an international dentist coming to the U.S. and training here has been so helpful. Guys, check out these next videos right here, and hopefully they will help you. And go to the next videos that you see down below. Go to these next videos. Go right now. That's our time. Love, peace, and smiles. Go to the next video. Go to the next video. Go.